Dear children, another small and important topic, importance of pH in everyday life. We studied in our previous topic what is pH, how do we use to detect whether a given chemical is acid or base with the help of pH scale, then universal indicators, when they added, what happens, they give different colors in different pH value on the entire range of pH scale from 0 to 14. Now, after that we know that pH has an important role to play in our everyday life. pH plays an important role in many activities of our daily life. Example, see these 5 points. pH plays an important role in digestive system. In biology also we study children. So HCl is produced in the stomach. Why HCl is produced? Because it makes the enzyme pepsin. Pepsin is an enzyme. HCl produced in the stomach. What happens? It makes the enzyme pepsin active. Thereby pepsin digests proteins present in the food. Understood? So enzymes are active. Enzymes play an important role in chemical reaction that takes place in our body. Pepsin is an enzyme produced in the stomach. It acts on proteins present in the food. Protein is a nutrient. Various in nutrition, first chapter you study, just keep it in mind. Enzymes are specific in action. Once again, the HCl produced in the stomach, it makes the pepsin active. Pepsin being specific in action, it acts on proteins present in the stomach. Therefore, the pH in our digestive system also plays an important role. pH of HCl in stomach is about 1.4 or 1.5. So thereby it makes the pepsin active which acts on protein. So proteins are digested into amino acids. So if the pH falls below 1.5 because of various reasons like overeating. So when you go to some function, we get tempted, we overeat, eat more than what we require because of temptation. The spicy food, what happens? pH falls below 1.5. So we suffer from irritation and burning in the stomach. Understood, children? So to cure this decrease in the pH value, as a result of it, acidity increases. We studied in previous topic. pH is inversely proportional to hydrogen ion concentration. By overeating, what happens? pH, which is normal pH in the stomach, is 1.5. It falls below 1.5. As a result of it, hydrogen ion concentration increases. Hydrogen ion concentration increases. Acid increases. We suffer from acidity, which is burning and pain in the stomach. So to cure this, we consume antacids. What is that? See, antacids. Before that, see the importance of pH in everyday life. These are the 5 points of written children. I realize the except first one, next one. First one, pH in our digestive system. pH change causes tooth decay. Plants and animals are sensitive to pH changes. Then pH changes and survival of animals. Fifth point, self-defense by animals through chemical warfare. These are the important 5 points of pH in our everyday life. So, as we discussed, so I have erased last 4 points, children. Now, because of overeating, what happens? pH of the HCl in the stomach falls down. As a result of it, hydrogen ion concentration will increase. We suffer from burning sensation, burning and pain, which is called indigestion. We suffer from indigestion. So the food is not properly digested. Then we take antacids. So actually, how do they act? Anti-acids. Anti means what? Against. They act against acids. So, who acts against acids? Bases. We studied already. Bases like baking soda, baking powder, baking powder, we use sodium hydrogen carbonate, baking powder, we use the help of, we take the help of baking powder to neutralize this excess acid which leads to burning and pain in the stomach. What do we do? Children? We use baking soda. What is baking soda? Sodium hydrogen carbonate, NaHCO3. We take use of antacids and acids. Understood, children? Yeah. Or when we go to medical shop, we'll ask him to give some antacid tablet or antacid, children. Look at on the tablet strip, children, or liquid which you buy. It's written as milk of magnesia. Milk of magnesia. Milk of magnesia. What is milk of magnesia, children? Magnesium hydroxide. See, hydroxide is a base. It kills excess acid. Acid is required in the body, but it should not be excess. If excess acid, pH reduces, leads to burning and irritation in the stomach, which is called indigestion. Then we take antacid like milk of magnesia or baking powder. What happens, children? Excess acid is neutralized and this pH is taken care. So normal, the HCS normal value will increase to 1.4 or 1.5. This is the importance of pH in our digestive system. One of the activity in our daily life. First point. Second point, children, pH change as a cause of tooth decay. Tooth decay. Tooth decay means what? Destruction of tooth and fall of teeth. We lose teeth. Why? Because of changing pH. Change in pH means pH decreasing pH. Decreasing pH. What happens? pH decreases, hydrogen ion concentration increases. Then what happens? Acidity increases. What does it imply? It increases acidity in the mouth. Acidity mouth. What happens? That leads to loss of teeth, called tooth decay. Death of teeth or loss of teeth. What happens, children? Normally the food we eat contains sugar, isn't it? Whatever we eat, it contains sugar. When we sweets containing plenty of sugar, or sweet is made up of sugar only, isn't it? Excess of sugar or too much sugar or only sugar. Sweet is only sugar. When we eat, what happens? The bacteria present in the mouth, it converts the sugar present in the food or sweet into acid. It converts it into an acid. Which is that acid called lactic acid. Lactic acid. The bacteria present in our mouth, lactic acid. The bacteria present in the mouth, it converts sugar present in our diet or food we eat, it gets converted into lactic acid. Being acid, what happens? It is responsible for destruction of teeth, which is the hardest substance in our body, children. Tooth enamel. Tooth enamel. Tooth enamel. And our teeth is made up of calcium phosphate. Calcium phosphate. Hardest substance. Hardest phosphate. Calcium phosphate is a salt. Our tooth has a coating called tooth enamel because of our teeth is very strong, which is made up of tooth is made up of calcium phosphate. With this acid, it destroys the tooth enamel. As a result of it, tooth becomes loose and leads to fall of teeth or tooth decay. We call it as tooth decay. This is why, because of excess eating of sugar, which gets converted into lactic acid. Lactic acid will destroy the coating of the teeth, which is tooth enamel, because of tooth becomes very loose, leads to tooth decay. This is about the role of pH change in the cause of tooth decay. So what should we do? How to prevent it? Normally pH in the mouth is about 5.4 to 5.5. pH in the mouth is what, children? Around 5.5. pH has no unit, it's only a number. What happens from 5.5? Because of formation of acid, the pH will fall. That leads to destruction of tooth enamel and tooth decay, loss of teeth. What should we do? After eating food, we should clean our mouth with plenty of water, or rinse the mouth with water. Understood? Or normally what do? We use toothpaste. Toothpaste is made up of what? Every day when we get up, we brush our teeth with a toothpaste. Toothpaste is what, children? Basically, it is a base. Toothpaste is basically what? A base. A toothpaste is a base. Being basic in nature, what it does? Whatever food we had eaten previous night, suppose it is sweet, which gets converted into lactic acid. This lactic acid will lead to loosening of teeth and ultimately fall off with what we call tooth decay. Understood? By destructing the tooth enamel, coating of the teeth, that is prevented by toothpaste, which consists of base. This toothpaste, being basic, it neutralizes the acid in the mouth, lactic acid. When lactic acid is prevented, destruction of tooth enamel is prevented, thereby prevents the tooth decay. This is about role of pH changes cause of tooth decay. This is second point, importance of pH in our daily life. When our pH, after eating, every time, as far as possible, try to wash the mouth. Rinse with plenty of water and brush teeth with toothpaste, possibly 2 times. Once in the morning, once we get up, then before you go to sleep, after dinner, try to brush your teeth. This is the second point. Next point, third point, plants and animals are sensitive to pH changes. Dear children, yes, plants and animals are also sensitive to pH changes in the surrounding environment. How? See, soil, pH and plant growth. The growth of the plant is affected by pH of the soil. pH also plays an important in the growth of plants. See children, how the question arises, isn't it? See now, pH of the soil in which plants are grown is normally around 7, neutral. If the pH suddenly collapses as low as 4 or pH rises to 8.3, what happens, children? The growth of the plant is affected drastically. Yes or no? Yes. So most of the time, what I said just now, pH of the soil can go as low as 4.4 or as high as 8. It can go up to 8.3 or it can go below as low as 4.3. Most of the time, pH of the soil will be acidic, not alkaline. In rare cases it will be alkaline, but 99.99% of the times pH of the soil will be less. It can go to as low as 4. Then what do we do, children? The farmers who grow plants, that is crop. Plants grown on large scale is called crop. When they grow crop, after sowing the seeds, watering the plant, after adding fertilizer, they check the growth of the plant. Sometimes when the growth of the plant is affected, they come to know that pH of the fertilizer, due to addition of fertilizer, pH of the soil has increased, enhanced. So what happens then? What do? They add bases to reduce the pH of the soil. Thereby they can expect the best growth of plant and good crop they can expect. What do? Well, arrange the second point, children. pH change and survival of animals. So when the pH of the soil goes below as low as 4. What do they do? They add bases. When soil is acidic due to addition of fertilizers, which are chemicals. We studied in previous topic. Users of acids like HCl, like sulfuric acid, nitric acid. They are used in the manufacture of fertilizers. Yes or no? So soil will be acidic because of addition of fertilizers. pH will collapse. To reduce the acidity of the soil, thereby pH will increase. What do? They add, farmers add bases. That may neutralize the pH of the soil and good crop can be expected. Which are the bases they add, children? They add quicklime. Quicklime is a base. What the name of quicklime? Calcium oxide. Then slated lime. What is slated lime, children? Calcium hydroxide is also base. Then chalk powder, chalk piece is also chalk. Chalk piece normally calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is chalk. All three are the compounds of calcium. Calcium is a metal. I taught you in the previous topic. Go recheck my video. Whether it is oxides, hydroxides, carbonates or hydrogen carbonates, which is also called bicarbonates. Oxides, hydroxides, carbonates, bicarbonates or hydrogen carbonates of metals are all basic in nature. All three are what, children? They are basic. So what happens? When farmers add any one of these base to the soil, the excess acid gets neutralized, pH will decrease, it will come around to 7. See, that is the pH around which growth of the good crop can be expected. Plants grow best when the pH is around 7, that is neutral. So pH of the soil should be neutral. When it goes down, pH decreases, soil becomes acidic, which hampers or affects the growth of plant. Then what the farmers do? They add any one of these bases to increase the pH, thereby decrease the acidity. Understood, children? Yeah. Second case, I said most of the time soil will be acidic. Rarely it will be basic. When it is basic, what do they add? They add organic matter like manure or compost. When pH is high, what happens? It will become basic. Understood? pH is high, it becomes basic. Stronger the base, higher the pH. So what do farmers do? They add organic matter. It contains compost or manure. What is this? They are natural fertilizers. Yes or no, children? Yes or no? Yes. They do not destroy the crop. So when the pH is too high, that is as high as 8, what do they do? Farmers, what do? They add organic matter, which consists of compost or manure, acidic, which neutralize the excess base. Thereby pH is reduced to 7. This is the role of what? Plants. Soil pH of the, how pH of the soil can affect the growth of the plant and ways to correct it. When the pH of the soil decreases or increases. Most of the time it decreases. It becomes acidic, not basic. Even we can check ourselves the pH of the soil, children. Take 2 grams of soil in a test tube, add about 5 ml of water. Then filter this mixture to the filter paper. Take the filtrate, add what is that previously studied universal indicator. Then we change in the color, compare the color to the paper chart. Paper, universal indicator, paper chart, whichever color it matches, that particular color will show particular number. That will be the pH of the soil which we tested. Understood, children? Is the easiest method to check ourselves pH of the soil. This is the first part of the next topic. Children, the second point under the third main, the survival of animals also depends upon pH change. pH also plays an important role in the survival of animals. See, we human beings, our body works well within a narrow pH range. What is the pH range of our body? It is from 7 to 7.8. Our body works well and we remain healthy when the pH of our body is well within the range of 7 to 7.8, narrow range. What happens, children? If the pH goes down, it becomes acidic. Or if pH goes up also, we are likely to suffer from many ailments. Understood, children? Therefore, our body pH should be maintained within a narrow range of 7 to 7.8. Our body works normally means we remain healthy. If pH goes down or goes up, the person likely to suffer from many ailments. Similarly, animals also, children, especially aquatic animals. Take for example fish. They also work. They are also healthy. They work well when within narrow range of pH value. See now, when the aquatic animals, that's animals like fish, which live in water, if the pH of the water is affected because of various reasons. One of the major reasons is what, children? Acid rain. See, the name itself indicates acid rain. When it rains, rainwater is the purest form of water. Rainwater is the purest form of water when it falls from the sky. When it falls on the mountain, it mixes with the what? Many substances. Mountain is made up of what? Is soils and rocks, which combines with chemicals present in the soil and rocks in the mountain. It becomes what? Acidic. Then it falls on the ground, earth. Again it mixes with many chemicals. It becomes highly acidic. This water ultimately joins river in which fish live. What happened to this life of the fish? It is affected. It is hampered drastically. Yes or no, children? Yeah. Now, when the pH of the river water increases, then it affects the life of aquatic animals, that is fish. Fish are likely to die. So, to prevent that, what do? We add base to reduce the acidity of the rainwater which joins the rivers. Which is that base? We add base. Just now we discussed, no, children, in the previous point. What is that? Calcium carbonate is a chalk. We add calcium carbonate to the river water, thereby the reduced pH increases, becomes normal. Under that condition, fish can survive and lead a normal life. This is about how pH change can affect survival of animals as well as human beings. We discussed. We will go to the next point. Fourth point and last point, children. Self-defense by animals and plants through chemical warfare. Many animals, what do? They inject acid or bases into the skin of their enemies. Thereby, they cause what? These chemicals released from the body of these animals causes immense pain and burning. Not only causes pain, immense pain and burning. Immense pain. Immense means severe pain. Immense pain and burning. Example, children, honeybee stings So most of us have experienced sting of an honeybee. Most of us have experienced the stinging of an honeybee, or we might have heard, and we know that how painful it is, isn't it? When the honeybee stings, then it releases chemicals, that is acid, into our skin, which causes immense pain and burning. Immediately what do? We neutralize this acid by rubbing it with baking soda. Yes or no, children? What do? We take base. We neutralize this acid by rubbing it with base. What's that? Baking soda. Baking soda is what? Sodium hydrogen carbonate, which is also called sodium bicarbonate, is a base. It neutralizes the acid released by honeybee sting. Similarly, what? Ant we know, isn't it? They also, when they sting, they release a chemical. There is a chemical which is acid into our skin. What is that chemical? Metanoic acid. It will come for one more question. Honeybee or ant, when they sting, which is the acid that is released into our skin? Metanoic acid, because of which we get immense pain and burning. Immediately what should we do? We should rub the stung area with the baking soda, which is a base, to neutralize that excess acid. Yes or no, children? And you will be surprised, there is another insect called wasp. What it does? When it stings, it releases a chemical. Wasp stings. What happens? It releases a chemical into our body. What is that chemical? It is a base. The chemical released by wasp sting is what? Chemical is a base. It is surprising. It releases a base. So then again we have pain and burning. So what should we do? You know that when acid is secreted by any insects into our body, then we neutralize it with the base. When base is secreted into our skin, what do we do? We rub it with an acid. Which acid we use, children? Not HCl or sulfuric acid, not HCl or H2SO4. What do? We rub the stung area with the vinegar. Yes or no? Vinegar. We rub the stung area with the vinegar. What happens? The base is neutralized by the mild acid. Understood, children? Yeah. Then you will be surprised to know that plants are no better. Plants are no better than animals or insects. There is a plant called nettle plant. Nettle plant. Understood? Leaves of the nettle plant. When accidentally we happen to touch the leaves of the nettle plant, the edges will have sharp stings. What happens? When we accidentally happen to touch the stings of nettle plant, what happens? They also secrete, what happens? They acid into our body, which causes severe pain. That's immense pain and burning. What do? Again we rub it with this acid, we rub it with base, stung area. It neutralizes the acid secreted by nettle plant. In the nettle plant, they grow in jungles. So they secrete acid when we happen to touch their leaves. It is mixed with baking soda. Acid reacts with the base to form neutral salt and water. That acid is neutralized. Understood, children? So this is about self-defense by animals and plants through chemical warfare. Even plants are no better than animals. Yeah. Another thing, children, you'll be surprised. When nettle plant stings, what do? Traditionally, the acid secreted by this nettle plant can be neutralized. by rubbing another plant which is grown in the jungle, that is called dog plant. Dog plant. Take its leaf and rub it on the stem area of the nettle plant, which releases acid. It contains base. This dog plant, which contains base, neutralizes the acid secreted into our stomach by nettle stick. Traditionally, this is the best remedy. And you will be shocked and surprised to know that these dog plants, they grow very next to nettle plants in the jungle. Suppose nettle plant stems, which contains acid, we rub it with leaves of dog plant. Thereby, it neutralizes the acid secreted released by nettle sticks. Understood, children? This is the end of topic. Importance of pH in everyday life.